Hello, students. Welcome to my video lectures on chemistry. In this video, we'll continue working on the revision assignment. So we'll talk about level 6 problems. So have a look at this problem. This is a problem on empirical formula. And if you see, the question says 5.8 grams of malic acid is found to contain 2.4 grams of carbon, zero point 0.2 grams of hydrogen, and 3.3 grams of oxygen. Your question is to calculate the empirical formula. So in order to calculate the empirical formula, first let's calculate the number of moles. So number of moles of carbon, that is mass divided by the molar mass, which gives you 0.1998. For hydrogen, mass, which is 0.2 grams divided by the molar mass, which gives you 0.198. And for oxygen, it's 3.3 divided by 16, which is 0.2063. Now, all these moles need to be divided by the smallest number. Smallest number here is 0.198. So if you divide them by 0.198, so 0.1998 divided by 0.198, that gives you 1.007. 0.198 divided by the same number gives you 1. And 0.2063 divided by 0.198 gives you approximately 1.04. So all these numbers could be rounded to 1. So the ratio could be considered as 1:1:1. So your empirical formula would be CHO. Now you're asked to calculate what is the molecular formula. So let's find what is the empirical formula mass. So carbon 12, hydrogen 1, oxygen 16, that gives you 29. And the mass was given to be 116 grams. If you see 1.16 times 10 raised power 2, that's mass is given to be 116 grams. So 116 divided by the empirical formula mass, that gives you 4. So you multiply 4 with the empirical formula. So you get molecular formula as C4H4O4. So that's how you solve this level 5-6 problem. Now let's look at limiting reactant or limiting reagent and percentage yield again, level 7-8. So you have a question where an impure sample of silver nitrate has a mass of 0.456. It is dissolved in water and then treated with excess hydrochloric acid. This results in the formation of AgCl silver. So here you have the silver chloride is filtered and any remaining hydrogen chloride is washed away. The silver chloride is dried. If the mass of the dried or dry silver chloride is measured to be 0.256 grams, what mass of silver nitrate was contained in the original impure sample? And you are asked to calculate the percentage purity. So first we'll find what is the mass of silver nitrate. Molar mass of silver nitrate, I calculated 169.87. You can use the periodic table and solve the molar mass of silver nitrate. You will find the molar mass of silver chloride, and that gives you 143.32 grams. Now let's try to find out, because this is a balanced equation. You have one silver, one chlorine, one hydrogen, one hydrogen. So this is three oxygen. It's a balance. So you want to calculate the mass of silver chloride. Let this be X. Here the mass is 0.456. So you will have the mass 4.456 divided by the molar mass of silver nitrate. The ratio is 1. So here you have 1x divided by 1 times the molar mass of AgCl. And that gives you 0.384 grams of silver chloride. Now the percentage purity, if you see here, you say it is 256 gram if the dry silver chloride is 0.256 gram. So 0.256 gram divided by 0.384 multiplied by 100, that will give you the percentage purity. And that comes out to be 66.6%. All right, let's look at question 8, which is level 7-8 question. Again, it is limiting reagent and percentage yield. So you have aspirin is made by reacting C4H6O3 with C7H6O3 and you are given the equation. The equation is balanced, so balanced equation is given. The question says if 2.82 times 10 raised to the power 1 gram of hydrobenzoic acid is reacted with 1.70 times 10 raised to the power 1 gram of C4H6O3, calculate the limiting reagent. So first let's find what are the moles of C7H6O3. So the mass was given to be 2.82 times 10 raised to the power 1 divided by the molar mass of C7H6O3. You look at the periodic table and find the molar mass of C7H6O3 and you get 138.12, and that gives you the number of moles. Then number of moles of C4H6O3, that's the mass, which is 1.70 times 10 raised to the power 1 divided by 102.1. That gives you 0.166. Now, once you have the moles, you divide by their coefficients. So this one is divided by 2, this one is divided by 1, and the smaller part, now one would be the limiting reactant. So this comes out to be the limiting reactant. So C7H6O3 is the limiting reagent. Now the question is calculate the maximum mass of aspirin. So you are supposed to calculate the maximum mass of aspirin. So now we'll focus on the limiting reactant. So the mass of the limiting reactant was 2.82 times 10 to the power 1 divided by the coefficient here is 2. Molar mass was 138.12. Let's say this mass we don't know, that is X. The coefficient here is 2. The molar mass is 180.60. Solve for X and you get 36.75 grams. Now the last part of the question, if the mass obtained in this experiment was 1.42 times 10 raised to the power 1 gram, calculate the percentage of aspirin. So here you have 14.2 grams. So 14.2 divided by 36.7 multiplied by 100, and that gives you 38.6%. So that was the last question for the revision assignment for criteria A. Good luck with your test.